Good day. I will be using this video to discuss the upcoming essay that is due Friday evening. This will give you a few pointers about what to look at, how to approach it. When you go to the modules, I've already clicked on modules, you'll find the assignment listed under the major essays module. It actually has its own module, and when you click on this, it will open to a series of different examples. There's an example of the works cited page for the essay, how it should look. This includes only a couple of examples, but if you click here, it will open. And you'll see an example of an article that can be found through our sources. Excuse me for that. And then also how to do the textbook. When you use information from the textbook, you can cite it this way. Cunningham, Lawrence S., and then the other two authors who are with him, the editors. Title is Culture and Values. Notice that that is italicized. This is the 9th edition. In the case of what this references, it's volume 1. If you're using anything from chapter 13, 14, or 15, you would have volume 2 probably. And then, of course, you include the page numbers of the information that you're using, if it's from a set aspect. If you're using various information from different pages that are not continuous, say you're looking at page 188, and then you go to 196, and then you don't have to put the page numbers. You'll just put this part here. You can also do a shorter version with just the name of the first editor, Lawrence Cunningham. So Cunningham, last name, comma, first name, et al. That simply means and others, so you do not have to type these other two names. And again, here's the title, the date, and etc. in that way. So that's how you would do the works cited page, how it should look. It'll be with a title, it'll list the author's last name, then the first name, and anybody else is there, title of the article that you looked at, where that article was located, the URL, and again, I'll show you how to find that information in a moment. And then also any other sources, you would list them alphabetically. So let's go back to the modules. And so once again, when you go to the essay, I do have you links to formatting according to MLA standards. You can click on this at Purdue University, and once you click on this one, I'll open it in a new tab. You'll see the details. Purdue University has an online writing lab, hence it's called Purdue OWL. And so you have some details here that allows you how to see, again, the works cited list, how to do that, the idea of some of the other details, formatting, endnotes, etc. So that's the you'll have to forget this is from the OWL, where they're trying to show some other information, details. And Purdue is very, very good. The online writing lab gives you a number of key different details about the work there. This is a video that goes over MLA style. This is by Kyle Stedman. And again, if you just click here, it simply goes through the details of how you actually would set up the details for a works cited page and citations within an essay. This is another essay that shows you again how to format an essay according to MLA standards. You just click here and you can watch it that way. And then what I have for you also is an example essay. It is not over one of your topics, but it does offer you some details of how it should look. So when you look at this one, you'll see, of course, this is actually tabbed over. It should not have been. And again, I don't get to make any changes. I did change that part, for the rest I did not. You'll have your name, my name, the course, and the date. Then you'll have the title of your essay. And then you will tab over once for your first paragraph. And you'll write your paragraph. You'll double space the essay. You will then get ready for your next essay, next paragraph. You'll tab over again. And again, go through and just write your essay. This gives you a reasonable look at how long your essay should be. And then here's the works cited page for this one. Again, you'll see Cunningham, they used that version, and then 2 other articles are used in this essay. When you go through the essay, you'll see the references that are used. In this particular case, here's the first one, where it's offering information that was paraphrased from the textbook. Any information you take from a source, whether it's quoted directly or paraphrased, must be cited. So here's a parenthetical citation. Parentheses, Cunningham et al., page number 136, close parentheses and period. The period will go after the citation. And so you have that one. Here's another one from Cunningham. And here's one from Pace, one from De Novo. And again, when you go back to the works cited page, you'll see those sources, and you'll see they are advertised. Cunningham, De Novo, and Pace. So again, this is how your essay should look. That's what the example is for. It's designed just to give you an idea of how your essay, once you finish it and you get ready to upload it, how it should appear. This is the actual assignment and also the way that you will upload your essay. So here's your assignment. We're going to look at that in just a moment. But when you finish your essay and you're ready to upload it, you will scroll down here and find this gray bar. When you click on this, it will take you to turn it in. And it's going to show that there's one in here. Somebody's already turned in the essay. I have not graded it yet. But what you will get will be a button asking you to submit. And you will then submit your essay. I'm going to redo this very quickly so you'll see that gray bar again. And so you have this gray bar. You click on it. It takes you to turn it in. And there you'll see a submission button, and you'll walk through the steps of submitting your essay to turn it in. Do not use SpeedGrader to submit the essay. I cannot grade it. I will not grade it if it's in SpeedGrader. So please keep some points in mind. First one, as it says up here in the instructions, the response is to be 1,000 words or longer. You can always write more. You are to follow MLA format, which I just showed you, involves proper heading, title, tabbing over for paragraphs, double spacing the essay. People, please double space your essay, and please have proper paragraphs. That means hit the tab button once. I tell you to do it in a DOCX or doc format or RTF, not with PDF or Google Docs. The reason to avoid some of those, when you upload to turn it in, occasionally those formats get adjusted and formatting goes off. So anyway, if you do not meet these standards of 1,000 words MLA format, as it says here, short responses, those that do not follow MLA format standard will not be graded. So please keep that in mind. Now for the assignment itself, we're going to raise this up to full screen and get that a little bit bigger for you. You're going to select one of the topics that are listed that are drawn from information and details presented in chapters 11 through 15. The response should be capable of having a sharp focus, offering specific details, not just summary, and then offering a commentary over those details. That's where your part comes into, not just as a copy and pasting from the textbook. I want more than that. This is a research paper, which means you're going to have to go find information to use, and they're going to discuss what that information involves. And we'll talk about that in just a moment as we look at the topics. Again, 1,000 words. It's not that hard to do, folks, to get that. I am also an English teacher, so I do expect the hallmarks of good writing, which means, yes, correct grammar, correct spelling, proper mechanics, all that's involved. You're to proofread your work to avoid errors with punctuation, mechanics, and grammar. I will expect spelling to be correct. It is to be typed according to MLA standard. That means it's double spaced. Citations for the references you include from the textbook or other sources. So keep that in mind. The topics, you have 8 different topics to choose from. They span a topic from the chapters 11 through 15. The first one is talking about the Black Death, not only in Europe, but also other areas, such as North Africa, Asia, Russia especially, the Middle East. So I want you not only to discuss how Europe, which is what our book primarily discusses, how the Black Death, the plague, affected Europe, But I want you to consider the other areas around the world that may not be mentioned in our textbook. So you need to do a little research there. And I want you to discuss the consequences of these areas, what the plague did for these areas as well as Europe. Use specific details and examples and discuss those. Chapter 11 talks about the Romanesque style of art and architecture, especially architecture. The Gothic style, which was more northern Europe, never really came into Italy, especially area from Florence to the south. So I want you to research Italian architecture from the 1100s to the 1300s, that's the 12th to the 14th century. I want you to discuss why that vertical style that really denotes the Gothic, with the rising towers, the rising windows, among other areas, why that really was not part of Italian architecture. What was that style? So you're going to discuss the architectural style in Italy during the 12th to 14th centuries. You're going to look at specific examples, talk about specific buildings, and look closely at those and discuss what traits those buildings represent and illustrate. So you're going to be looking at those if you choose topic 2. For topic 3, it's about the de Medici family. You have some details about Cosimo and Lorenzo, but the de Medici family actually has a longer history than just those two individuals. So I want you to look at the de Medici family after Lorenzo's death. So from 1492 on to the 1500s, I want you to look at what they do there, and you're going to find that the de Medicis were an impressive family, highly influential. You'll discover that they wind up marrying into royalty. There's really a key aspect. So talk about that aspect, talk about the importance of this family, what they were noted for, and also talk about some of the key individuals. So you're not going to talk about Cosimo or Lorenzo the Great, or Lorenzo the Magnificent as he was called, but you're going to talk about the other members after 1492. The next topic talks about looking at the works of Machiavelli. You have some excerpts from The Prince. I want you to look at that information, discuss what's presented in your textbook, and explain what that advice really seems to be. Is it good political advice? Does this advice that Machiavelli offers in The Prince, would it really lead to a stable, firm government? Or is it perhaps unethical? Is his view of humanity, as it says here, is he perhaps being pessimistic about what people are? And so I want you to look at those and discuss those aspects and really look at what the points are that are raised in your textbook in Chapter 12. If you want to look further about Machiavelli, that would be a good part for the research. Topic 5 asks you to look at Venetian painting and the Roman painting style. The Venetian style, that which is occurring in Venice, proves very different from what was taking place in and around Rome, especially from the artists who were being essentially sponsored by the patron system of the popes during this era, the High Renaissance. Venice was different. They did a different style. I want you to look at some key example artworks, talk about specific ones, and so that you can have a room to talk about the style, way subjects are presented, how colors are incorporated, the use of the lines and geometric principles that help build and shape the construction of any artwork. Look at how that's all being offered between the style in Venice and the style in and around Rome, especially among those artists who are being sponsored by popes. For number 6, it's again, in Venice, you had a highly influential aspect about composers and music of this era. You have Giovanni Gabrieli, and so I asked you to look at his work and other Venetian school composers. That's around the 1500s, about 1530-40 to about 1590s. And so I want you to look at those. And are they really Renaissance? Or are they something else? Are they after Renaissance? I want you to discuss why their works would fit into the Renaissance or not. I want you to talk about how this period is defined in according to music history. And again, use specific examples to support. So you're going to talk about key aspects of music. So for those of you who are interested in music and music theory and history, this is a topic for you. The next topic, number 7, is all about science. And again, the textbook will mention some key points about science, but it doesn't go into a great deal of detail, partly because, again, the book is trying to cover so much it doesn't have the room to spend time talking about these figures. But I actually choose 2 of these to discuss how each of the 2 that you choose out of the 4 that are listed here, how each of the 2 really proved significant to scientific study. What is it that they did and what they followed, what they offered, that allows us to know more about science even today. So talk about each one of those figures and what they did in the field of science. Talk about how they were regarded during their time and how they have now been regarded after a period of 500 or so years, after several centuries have passed. What is it that they are now being considered? And so that gives those of you who have an interest in science a chance to look at a couple of the scientists who had an impact during this era. And then number 8 is about the Baroque world. If you didn't get a chance to watch the videos that are posted in that chapter about the Baroque period, it would really benefit you. Vladimir Januzak, who is a British historian, an art critic, and art professor, does a wonderful job in those videos. Each of the videos is about an hour long, but he takes you to where the art is, so you get a chance to see not just a flat picture in your textbook, you get to see the work themselves. It's really very, very good series. But what I ask you to do is take the characteristics of the Baroque world, and you'll see those listed here. Space, light, time, emotion, virtuosity. I ask you to use some specific examples. Talk about key paintings by particular artists. Maybe you want to look at Caravaggio, or you want to look at a Michelangelo sculpture, or you would want to look at some of the others that fit into this Baroque era that are part of this time. And so I want you to discuss these key aspects. And you, of course, can talk about music, art, architecture, and literature. You can look at Bernini. You can look at some of those other works that are part of architecture and art, etc. You can look at the literature of the era that's being presented during this time. And I want you to talk about these key aspects. So this is a chance for you to look at the Baroque. And again, in your textbook, that particular aspect, let me lower that down and make that a little smaller. That particular part is in chapter 15. And again, when you go to the modules, here we go, give it a moment. And you go up here to the chapters. For instance, if you want to look at chapter 15, you have the details about the Baroque offer for you here in what's called the 17th century. And then here are those videos that I was just talking about that are part of Vladimir Januzak. I usually just call him Wally. And so if you click on that, it'll ask you to click here, and you'll have to log in. But he does a wonderful job discussing various artworks. And let's go back down here again. You can also talk about music for that 8th topic, and if you want to listen to an example, I have for you Vivaldi's Four Seasons, performed by Julia Fisher, and then have some other aspects for you to look at as well. So again, that's where you would find some of the details there as well. What you also need to keep in mind is when you are submitting to turn it in, there are steps that you can follow. And I have for you, under the Start Here module, which you were supposed to access the first day of class and review it, a video here from a professor at the University of Kentucky. And if you click on this, again, I'll open it in a new tab. This video is from Professor Jason Johnson, and he just walks you through how to submit an assignment through Turnitin, to Turnitin from Canvas. So that's a video for you to look at that will help you in case you've never submitted to Turnitin before. As I said earlier, once the essay is, if you go back to the video I did at the beginning of the semester, I showed you that this is how you can find the feedback. So once your essay is submitted, and I get it graded, and I'll try to get it graded as quickly as I can, you go here to find the feedback. Simply follow these instructions. It'll help you find that information where you can read the marks there on your paper and see the comments that are made and see the overall grading according to the rubric that is provided. Again, we'll close this one. Go back down one more time to review. So you'll go here to the major essay module. You will click here on the major essay assignment. You can download and print, if you need to, a copy of the topics. And when you're ready with your essay to upload it, you will go here to this gray bar. You will click on this. It will take you to Turnitin, and you will see a submit button, and you simply follow the steps on how to submit. In order to review that again, I do have that video posted for you. So I hope this has helped you to understand what the essay is to be, how it needs to look, what I expect for it. The idea that it is to be 1,000 words, no less, can be more. That is to follow MLA format, which means, as it says here, double space, proper citation, proper paragraphs. Hit the tab button for every paragraph, folks. Do not write this as a block. This is not a business letter, it's an essay. Do not put extra lines between paragraphs. The whole essay should just simply be double spaced, no other changes to it. And so that's what you want to make sure that you do. You have until Friday evening. And again, the assignment, and I'll show you a little bit here. There's a little window that I always provide for you, so you have a little time in case something happens. That's why the window is provided. And so you have until the next day. It's due on the 22nd. That's Friday evening before midnight. But you do have until the next day to make sure everything gets submitted. So I hope that that will clarify what you are to do and how you are to do this. And again, when you are ready to submit, you scroll down, find the gray bar, click on it. That will take you into Turnitin, and then you will simply go from there. If you do have any questions, you may certainly send me an email, and I'll try to get around to answering those. I try to be as fast with the response as I can, but be prepared that if I'm maybe not around a computer, for instance, or not able to get to responding immediately, I will try to do so, as our window says, within 24 hours. But if you have a question that you send to me on Friday, the 22nd, that may be a little late, but I'll try to get that information back to you. All right, well, I hope this has helped. I will be posting this and sending you folks an announcement that this is posted. I will post this video under the Major Exams tab.